Hello everybody, it's our final training show inside the tour from Georgetown University here in Washington. We've been doing this for 2.5 weeks, watching United train mostly at UCLA, but now before the Barcelona game tomorrow, they're training here at Georgetown in terrific facilities ahead of a really, really big game on the tour, and it's a great way to end the tour by playing Barcelona. Fantastic way to end the tour, isn't it?
It is. It's fitting that we probably play one of the best teams in Europe. It's another challenge for us, having beat City, drew against Real Madrid, but no, it'll be another test for us tomorrow. Certainly the back four anyway, with Neymar, hopefully Messi and Suarez. So it should be really interesting.
You might have been with us yesterday where it was incredibly hot and humid here, but it's 10 o'clock in the morning and there's a bit of air going, which I think makes a difference. I think those players will be quite delighted with these conditions today.
It is. It's a little bit windy, which is perfect. I mean, it was stifling yesterday, but as you can see, the lads are enjoying themselves, pushing each other around. To be fair, it's a long trip for them as well, Stu. So much as it's for us doing MUTV, it is for them. But you know, the main reason why they're here is to get fit, ready for the big kick-off in August.
So we're here for half an hour to see them go through their little warm-up and their sessions. And then a little bit later on, Jose Mourinho will hold his final sort of pre-match press conference of the tour. We'll be seeing that also live on MUTV, that press conference taking place here at Georgetown University. And again, a little bit like the UCLA, wherever you look around here, great buildings, great facilities, great sports facilities. What a dream to come to somewhere like this for university.
Oh, everybody's dream to come to something like this, especially if you're a sportsman. But I think United demand the best and they all seem to get the best. UCLA was an unbelievable place to go and train and work at tactics, and you know, even the lads who are not fit or not so much in the squad to play, you know, like Ashley Young and Rojo, Luke Shaw, you know, the facilities for them are second to none, which is great for them. All part of the squad.
Yeah, something we were touching on yesterday actually. I suppose if you are injured, it's nice to actually do some rehab here rather than be stuck on your own effectively back at Carrington or whatever, you know.
Well, especially, I mean, Marcus is probably out till Christmas. Luke and Ash maybe a little bit shorter than that, but yeah, I mean, getting fit, running around and working hard in the sun, it'll do them good. And also, Stu, I think being part of the squad as well, that togetherness, that's vitally important, I think, because as you say, you know, being at Carrington, stuck in the miserable weather of England and Manchester, you know, you might as well be here in the sun with the lads, enjoying it and being part of it that way.
Yeah, the manager said Ashley Young probably somewhere around October he'll be back. Luke Shaw, the first of the injured players to come back in September. Marcus Rocco, we're talking about the end of the year, maybe the start of next year, because he got that bad injury on the same night as Zlatan got it in April. Well, that's probably about right. It's usually about 9 months, isn't it, when you get
ACL? Yeah. Well, I mean, you see Ash warming up there and doing a little bit of running, but so much as you can run and you can do whatever, you know, the amount of running showing there with Johnny Boy, but it's when you come to kicking balls and you're changing directions and you're sprinting and you do things that are not natural to you. That's when the full body weight comes into it, and that's when you start pulling injuries and stuff like that.
For this final game of the tour against Barcelona, I just wonder if United will do quite a lot of what they did against City, where a lot of the players played 60, 75 minutes. Against Real Madrid, there were plenty of changes at half-time, 8, I think, or 9. But I wonder if for the final game, whether he might go possibly with what he might consider to be somewhere around his strongest team.
I would have thought so. Lukaku only got a half against City, and Pogba against Real. Pogba the same. I would think in hindsight, looking at the team that started and finished against Real, I think the manager, in his own mind and in maybe the players' minds as well, thinking, I don't want to give anything away before the big game coming up in a couple of weeks. I just think he don't want to put all his eggs in one basket and think, well, that's the team I'm going to play, this is how we're going to play. I think he's got something up his sleeve where he thinks, well, I'll just hold a little bit back, give nothing away, and we'll take it from there, sort of thing.
A couple of knocks taken on this tour, Mata and Herrera. I'm sure the manager will be asked about that. at the press conference
Yeah.
coming up to see what situation they're in. He certainly didn't want to see Ander Herrera going off because he's turned into such an important player for United. But it didn't look, severe, did it? It just maybe looked painful.
No, it looked painful. He got done. A couple of minutes into the second half, which was a blow for him. Of course, it was. Got challenged from behind, and whether he ricked his back or whether the lads, need him in the back. It's a sore one because it's on your hips, and you can get quite easily bruised there. But Anders he's a fit lad and he's a tough lad, so I wouldn't be surprised if he's back in the team, or certainly back in the squad in the next 2 or 3 days.
So it'll be the 5th game of 7 in pre-season overall. United playing Vålerenga in Oslo at the weekend, and then ending it in Dublin against Sampdoria before the first real game, I guess, competitive game, the European Super Cup against Real Madrid in Skopje in a couple of weeks' time. But I think 7 games against mostly high-quality opposition. I think you couldn't ask much more in terms of getting ready for the season, could you?
Absolutely perfect. I think the first 2 games was a bit of a leg stretcher, as you can call it. Just getting them going again. I think he gave everybody 45 minutes in both games. City game was a little bit more intense.
Yes, it was.
So, and then as I say, the game against Real Madrid, I just thought it was a little bit more tactile and I think a little bit more acute of where he wants to be, and he gave nothing away in that game, and rightly so, because as you say, the Super Cup's it's a big trophy. You want to win it because the only reason why you win it is because you're either champions of Europe with the Europa League or your Champions League. So he'll be looking forward to that, pitting his wits against Real Madrid again.
Well, you could even see Kylian Mbappe in the Real Madrid side for that Super Cup game. All the talk today is that he's going to be joining with somewhere in the region of £160 million from Monaco.
Frightening. How old is he? 18?
Yeah.
I mean, I suppose if you look at the bigger picture, then 160 million over 10 years.
Yeah.
Up till he's 28, 18 million a year, 16 million a year. Then, I think what you're doing there, Stu, you're just buying unbelievable potential. But we've seen that time and time again where young kids come into it. Obviously, it's a hell of a lot of money. But hey, if they're willing to pay that, then and he wants to go, good luck to the kid. You can't take anything away from him. He's going to a fantastic club, and I'm sure playing alongside Ronaldo and Bale, he'll be well suited there.
Yeah. Oh, okay. More from Maisie up here in the Crow's Nest a bit later on.
Beautiful up here.
Let's just go down to pitch side and join the 3 wise men, or maybe 2, maybe even just 1.
Curly, Larry, and Mo.
Here's Dave.
Thank you very much, Stu. Thanks, Maisie. Yeah, me and Bo with Paddy. Paddy soaking up the last of the sun almost before we go back. Just one more day after this.
I don't think we'll get much when we go back to Manchester, will we? So why not?
Indeed. One more game to go as well, and it's a special one, isn't it?
Oh, it's a classic game. You always want to win your games, regardless of people saying it's pre-season and all that sort of thing. Yet here in America, you've got Manchester United fans, and probably the opposition fans as well. They want to win the game, so I think we're going to see a very competitive match in actual fact.
Certainly, sort of seeing the lads turning up this morning, I know that a lot of people look at these kind of trips and think, well, by this point in the trip, Bo, you're tired, you've been away from home a long time, but you can see in their eyes they want to beat Barcelona tomorrow.
Of course I do. I think the manager does as well. I think he wants to finish on a high note. It's a last game of this US tour, and this is probably the best team we're going to play until the Super Cup in Macedonia. All respect to Vålerenga in Oslo or Sampdoria in Dublin, this is the game, and Barcelona played a couple of games and they'll probably play with their stronger side as well, so it's always good to finish a great trip on a good note and a win, so we can sit on that plane and just relax, buddy.
European Cup final next year, Man U, Barcelona.
I think they have actually weakened now. They have the super trio up front with Neymar, Suarez, but the midfield is not as strong as it used to be.
Or the defence for that matter.
Yeah, defence as well, the league goals as well, so I'm a little bit worried about the future, what it holds for Barcelona.
Why are you worried about them?
I'm worried because Madrid, for me, feels more like a unity. It's made them more like a unity.
When you've got a player like Ronaldo, there's always a great chance you'll beat MD, isn't there?
Yeah, of course. They have Messi and Suarez and Neymar, but Real has that midfield, and you know how important it is to win that central of the park.
Midfield, yeah, they're so intelligent, the players they've got in there. But anyway, it's going to be a great match to watch tomorrow. I know we're on the way home after it, but I'm looking forward to it. Great game. Some magnificent players, some of the world's best players.
And will it still be another case of the manager topping up minutes, do you think, for people, or will he say, do you know what, I'm going to play a team for an hour or for however long, and you know, put out a team which might be an indication of the team at the first game of the season?
I think without question, Dave, that's going to happen. The manager must be getting closer to thinking, what's my first 11? And I want to give them as much time together as they possibly can. So we've got this game, we've got the game in Dublin, and well, we're going to
Norway as well before that.
Yeah, Norway.
But
at the
same time, I think this is the occasion, Paddy, to play the strongest team because of the strength of the team actually we are facing. It's the best game we're going to get before the Super Cup in Macedonia.
I'm going to agree with you.
Yeah. You always agree with me. I like that.
Never agree with me.
No, I don't agree with you sometimes, Dave.
Well, that's true. A lot of people don't. The lads just sort of taking on water at regular intervals during the session because it's another hot one here today. We're around about the 30-degree mark here. We've just gone 10 o'clock in the morning local time here, so we've plenty of time for the day to get even warmer. And obviously we were sort of seeing the players, we're seeing the manager as well, wandering around the training pitch here. We'll be hearing from him in just over an hour or so's time at the press conference ahead of the Barcelona game, and then the lads will be back here later on for another session this afternoon.
It's quite funny that the manager's always there, isn't it?
Yeah.
And players have got to impress the manager all the time.
And as we saw with Jesse's interview yesterday with Stuart, the manager's always listening, always watching. That's the mark of a good manager, isn't it? Well, always.
Over the edge, he's total command, isn't he?
Where's the boss of any company as well? You have to have full command as well. But what I like with the players as well, smiles on their faces, the gelling every day that goes by. It's not like people aren't wandering off their own. They're not a group of players that do their own thing because they do this together as well. And that's what I like to see about that, because the unity is important. The team spirit is unbelievable.
The guys certainly look on their toes today, and they're being kept sharp by Gary Walker, who's out there doing this drill with them. These kind of things are fun though, aren't they? I mean, you're working your body hard, you're keeping everything ticking over ready for a game, but it's competitive, which means it's enjoyable for you as a player.
You're asking a wrong player here. I used to hate training, Paddy. I used to hate training. I like the warm up, and I like this little boxes and all that. And after that, everything was just painful, especially in the pre-season.
You would like the long distance running in the pre-season.
Oh, I hated that, Paddy. I hated that.
That was something that was done in my era. It's not done so much today. You go up to Heaton Park in Manchester. You might not know Heaton Park.
I do. We were there for 6 months before we moved to Carrington in '99.
Uphill and down Dale pre-season.
We did that with Neil Bailey, which was under 17 coach at the time.
They used to be all right under 17. You should be able to float around the place.
No, I didn't float anyway. I remember that at them hills at the Heaton Park. No, I was not floating. I was not floating.
Nightmare.
You were just looking at the physio thinking, I have a little pain in my calf, John. It was John Taven's. Tried to avoid everything it was running to do.
That was good fun all the time, wasn't it?
Great memories.
What's it like on a trip like this, at this stage of the trip though? Obviously the game, there being one more game to go, means you're hungry for the game, but it's a long time away from family, isn't it? A long time away from sort of life back home, and indeed from temperatures and conditions back home as well.
It is, Dave, but this is not a bad lifestyle, you know. Being a first-team player for Manchester United, travelling around America, so much support, so much fans, and so much love for the players. So you have to enjoy it. Of course, you want to get home. It's been over 2 weeks. You look forward to the season. It's our 5th game tomorrow as well, and then on the 13th of August, everything matters then.
That's when it starts.
That's what it starts. We need them 3 points against West Ham. Everything is about the Premier League and the games in your league.
It's been a fascinating...
The great thing about it, the camaraderie of all the players. I mean, they all get to, when you're away on tour for maybe 2 or 2.5 weeks, you get so close to each other. You do, and it's such a relationship that's taken onto the pitch, which is great.
We're also going back to Britain and to an interesting transfer market, which has been discussed at length in various newspaper columns.
Well, we don't get that here, do we? You've got one of these magic little things that tells you everything. I'd lose track of what date.
It's called an iPad, Paddy. iPad is not a magic anymore. It's not a magic anymore.
I don't know how to work. You're the younger generation. I don't know how to work them anymore.
By the way, we've got to keep our eyes everywhere here because Ashley Young's on a mission to try and try and find us with the ball. No, just thinking, we look at, for example, West Ham United, first game of the season, and you see they've signed Joe Hart on loan, they've got Marko Arnautovic, club record fee. Chicharito has now signed for West Ham United.
Have they signed a player that frightens you? No. Have they signed a player you think, God almighty? No.
No, it's interesting to see who's moving around, what's happening.
I know, but it's gone stupid, the market as well. I think but the thing is, I don't think we can actually be discussing these sums anymore because they're just gonna get more crazy, buddy. So sometimes I just feel like it's a dead end. How much time am I gonna spend in a studio here talking about Kyle Walker or Mendy and the sums? The clubs are setting them themselves.
If you're Manchester United and you're a Manchester United fan and you're looking at United signing players, you're looking at somebody like Messi or Ronaldo. You're not thinking of players that will they do well at our club. Manchester United would be looking at something. Will they do well? He'll lift the whole place.
Of course, look at
not
just the name.
Sign Ronaldo or Messi.
No, but look at Neymar now. Before last week, talks about going to PSG for £200 million. 222 million euros was agreed. That's his buyout clause, and they were just willing to pay that for Neymar. You know, then it goes to a different level.
This is great stuff, by the way. Just shows that it's not always about using your feet. Lovely bullet header from Romelu just a couple of seconds ago. Daly had a chance there.
The great thing about that is making a little bit of space for yourself, whether you're throwing the ball or playing the ball. Making that little space for somebody to find you, like you've just done down. Did he score? No,
he did. Yeah, no, he scored. Yeah.
Oh, did he score? Yeah.
Yeah, you've got to score with a header in this game. So that's, as you say, it's all about losing your marker, creating space, and ultimately scoring.
Correct. So you've been listening to me
well.
You've been listening to me then.
Just a nice little warm-up game as well.
Yeah, great fun.
Buddy, should we join in?
You'd be all right. No, you'd be all right.
No, you can just stand by the post. We find you there in the back post. You can just head him in. See, like that. See, Mickey's scored 2 headers already.
Yeah.
He's one to watch next season, isn't he? A lot of people have said that. Henrik Mkhitaryan, he's been brilliant on tour.
He's a class act in actual fact. He's got a football brain, which in football you don't have a lot of players with that. That sounds crazy, that, Dave, but you don't have somebody that can pick out passes or see situations. He can.
Hat-trick of headers for Mkhitaryan now.
Yeah, but at the same time, I've said it thousands of times. I think people at home are bored of me listening to how I'm speaking about the Armenian Maradona, as I call him, Mkhitaryan. No, but it's just the way he thrives forward with the ball, the control he has when he breaks lines. It's not that easy. It looks much easier on the telly, but when you see him live every single day, how careful he is with his first touch and how upset he gets if in a box or if in a key ball session he doesn't get it right.
So intelligent.
They're so intelligent.
Yeah.
The spaces it takes up, even in this game, even it's a warm-up game.
Yeah.
Why did he score them 3 headers?
Well, he's the smallest fellow there.
Because he picks always the right areas at the right time, and he does that on the pitch as well.
You're very biased, Paddy. You talk about midfielders having to be intelligent.
Well, what's wrong with that?
Well, no, absolutely nothing. But I mean,
you're hinting at something.
Wait, are you saying Paddy wasn't intelligent, Dave?
I would never say anything like that.
You have to respect the elders now. Come
Especially with these objects around that are around us.
I'm always a great believer that midfield players are the most important players because of what they can do with the ball when they get it. They're the ones that hoping they can create a bit of space for somebody to put the ball in the back of the net.
Of course, that's the heart of the team. It's always been. If the midfield doesn't work, you don't win games. You don't control games as well. Doesn't matter how good your defenders are, how great your strikers are. And that's what I'm talking about Barcelona. When they had Busquets, Xavi and Iniesta, they were unbeatable. But Iniesta is older, Xavi is good. Busquets doesn't get the same support anymore. And they lose their midfield and they get vulnerable at the back. At the same time, it's harder to get the balls up to that magnificent trio they have.
Oh, they had. They were made them the great side they were.
Great to see this kind of exercise because over the course of the last couple of weeks here on MUTV, live with training on this Tour 2017 presented by Anne, we've brought you exclusive training shots with very different training sessions along the way. Obviously, each session starts in a similar way with the stretching exercises and whatnot, but the coach is here working hard to keep it all fresh.
It has to be, exactly, because players can get bored from doing the same thing every day. I mean, it's all right practicing free kicks and corners and doing all that sort of thing. That's something you have to do anyway. But all this is using your imagination and great fun for players.
But it is interesting that when you do a drill like this, you're working on various skills that you'd use on the pitch that you're not thinking about it, are you? This is just instinct a lot of the time.
The great thing about it is them finding that little bit of space to get a decent pass in when obviously it's throwing it in there, you've just seen a little bit of space and it's the ball's in the back of the net.
No, because that's the main part you said that David touched on right there. You're not thinking. And sometimes for a player, it's such a good feeling not to think about the exercise, if it's heavy or what are we gonna do. Just go there, enjoy yourself and just do whatever you want for yourself to get warm enough to actually go into the actual session, because if you see the goals are set out, it's going to be a small-sided game or whatever it is before the game, so I'm looking forward to that. But sometimes it's just a nice feeling to go out to train and not to think, you know, just one of them empty sessions.
Well, with the game tomorrow, obviously it's not going to be as strenuous today as it would be in a normal day. All fun, which is, if you know, it is all fun, isn't it?
Important to get that balance, isn't it, between the sort of hard work, the mental hard work, but also a bit of the sort of relaxation time and watching a move like that unfold's terrific.
Yeah, but teams that don't have team spirit don't celebrate, don't laugh at this way. People think, it's for fun. But I've been in teams, you play these kind of games and you score goals like that, there's no emotion, there's no feeling. We're talking about Manchester United.
Plenty out there, isn't there?
A team that's going to compete to win Premier League, a team is going to play Champions League football finally, instead of them Rostov trips or whatever in the Europa League, you know, but it's important. It's a massive club, it's a great club, but also the team spirit wins you titles. It wins you points even when you're not performing well, because you have that bond, you have the unity. You actually want to stick up for your mate. You want to be there.
Well, that brings me to a quote.
I want to stick up for Paddy, always. Somebody touches Paddy, they're in problem.
I've got a minder after all these years.
Yeah, there's a Serbian security guard here behind it with a Swedish passport. No problems, Paddy. I got your back.
It's interesting though, it takes me back to a quote, I think I mentioned this during the course of one of the early training sessions here. Teddy Sheringham said about the 99 team that you don't win anything with a set of choir boys, if you like. He said you've got to have that little bit of nastiness as well as that team spirit to back each other up.
In terms of us saying that, I've always maintained that if you're a defender, make sure that the other player, the opposition, knows you're there. Let them know you're there. And sometimes fair play is a great game in football. I say that, a great thing in football, I say it all the time. If you're a big defender, you can frighten players. You can, you know that.
We've got that aspect in the team now, haven't we? The strength, the physical side of things, and certainly seeing it with some of those headers from Romelu there, and you know we've obviously seen it last season or so with Pogba and Fellaini.
Yeah, it's just the strength and the presence. It's also quality. How many strong players are there not in England? From Premier League down to the Sunday League football, you have seen strong players.
Yeah,
but you need the quality to play in this club. And that's what people should aim at. You need to be a little bit more special to be here, to win things. And if you cannot handle the pressure, you're not going to be here for a long time.
That's correct.
You know
that's the big thing that sometimes, maybe fans, we've been harping on about it for a long time, maybe fans realise it now. To walk out in front of 70,000 people at Old Trafford can be a nerve-shattering experience for some players. We've seen it down through the years, probably the likes of Di Maria, who's a magnificent player, just couldn't handle it. All that pressure from what the fans want.
And he's still Di Maria, isn't he? Still Di Maria.
Did I say? What did I say?
Yeah, Di Maria.
Di Maria, yeah.
That's his name,
but it's the way you always used to call him Di Maria.
Dear Maria.
Well,
Dear Maria.
And from Di Maria to David De Gea, who's in goal.
Fantastic.
Along with Joel Pereira, of course, Sergio Romero as well. We've been speaking to the two more senior goalkeepers there, and we'll be hearing from them in our build-up to the Barcelona game tomorrow. And just talking a lot about the fact that it's not only about the goalkeepers keeping the ball out the net, but the defenders and the midfield pressing, which we've seen quite a lot on this tour.
The relationship goalkeepers have with the rest of the players in the team, knowing what to do, what not to do, all that sort of thing. You get that with experience. And I'll tell you something, the third goalkeeper there, Pereira, he's not bad, is he? I think you're looking at the two goalkeepers under De Gea. Are they going to stay at Manchester United eventually? Because to get in front of De Gea is a big ask. And you're talking about two top-class goalkeepers. Not saying you want to go in with the
as long as David is at the club, you're not going to get in front of him. You know, it's just something you have to take in.
Yeah.
And especially when the manager came out a couple of days ago and said I mean, just watching him in training is a joy. I'm really happy he's still a Manchester United player.
Gents, thank you. That's just about all we've got time for in this show. We're going to leave the guys to just finish off their session here at Georgetown University, Shaw Field in Georgetown University. But we'll be back very shortly on MUTV because we're going to hear from the manager in his pre-match press conference. Make sure you join us for that. And of course, tomorrow, the final game on US soil of Tour 2017 presented by Aon, and we'll bring you all the best build-up and of course the game live as well. See you soon. Bye-bye.